Okay. Good afternoon, and thanks very much for joining us. We're honored today to have with us WBO Junior Lightweight World Champion Jamel Herring as part of the Ring City USA Zoom media available this week, 2 days ahead of our big card from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, New York, the first professional fight card to take place in the state of New York since the COVID-19 pandemic began in March of 2020. We will be live on the air on NBC Sports Network at 9 p.m. Eastern this Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, with an outstanding women's WBA featherweight world title fight between longtime champion Jelena Mrdenovic and top-rated challenger Erica Cruz Hernandez. For Ring City USA, this is the second straight women's world title fight main event that we've had in our shows as we continue to support women's boxing and all boxing across the landscape. Jamel Herring, sports record of 23-2 with 11 knockouts. His most recent victory was a sixth-round knockout of Carl Frampton on April 3rd, 2021, the third defense of his world title. Jamel was the captain of the 2012 U.S. Olympic team and a proud member of the United States Marine Corps, having served 2 tours of duty in Iraq. He will be joining us as a guest commentator Thursday night as well. Jamel, welcome to the chat.
Thank you. Thank you, Brent. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be here talking with some very familiar faces, but it's a good day.
Excellent. We're glad to have you as always. And of everyone in boxing, you've had one of the most remarkable and incredible journeys over the last 5 or 6 years. And when we talk about boxers who have really achieved greatness and worked hard to achieve that greatness, no one fits a better description than yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. It really means a lot. It really means a lot. And it's just an honor just to be a part of, such a great sport that we all love and cherish. And it's great to just do, great feats in the sport as well. And I'm just, humbled and just happy to be where I'm at today.
Great. Thank you so much for serving inspiration. Again, to the media who are joining us, if you have a question for Jamel, please hit your raise hand function, and I will unmute you at the time. Our first question comes from Jeremy Herridges. A second. Jeremy, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Jamel, thank you for your time today. How surreal is it to go from your career in the Marines, Olympian, and now champion, and looking back on it and taking part in this event? Reflect on that a little bit.
It's funny, Jeremy. I'm glad you said that because earlier today, when I was even driving, I literally was thinking about my time from when I was in Iraq to where I'm at now, and it's just like a dream at times because I know fellow Marines who love the sport of boxing as well that were they used to dream about being in the position that I'm in. I remember just clearly back in 2007, I was literally in Iraq during the Oscar De La Hoya Floyd Mayweather fight. And I remember like I need to get back into the sport of boxing. Like I need to get back into the sport as soon as I get back home to America at least. But just remembering that day clearly to where I'm at now, it's just a blessing.
As far as having this event at West Point, the symbolism behind it, how important is that to kind of celebrate not just boxing but also the military through this event for the world to see?
Oh, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I mean, even in my own career, I've been trying to press the issue on bringing more boxing, big events to military bases, especially on the Marine Corps side. I've been trying to fight in Camp Lejeune, Camp Pendleton. As you see, when I fought Lamont Roach in Fresno, that was sort of a military themed fight right there. So it's definitely a big deal just to see boxing on a military base and just showing that pride of how the military looked at boxing as well.
Obviously, there's still a lot of fight left in you. I mean, you looked fantastic in your last bout, arguably maybe the best you've ever looked before. However, you're commentating here. Could this be a segue into the future of something you may want to do when your time in boxing is done?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm over here painting my daughter's nails, but absolutely. This is something that I love the commentating aspect of the sport because it allows me just to speak on my public opinion and give my knowledge of the sport as well. And I can definitely see myself, doing this as a career in the future. But right now, I'm taking a full advantage of the opportunity in the moment, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Sounds great. Thank you, Jamel, and look forward to seeing you commentating.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Our next question comes from Carlos Toro. Carlos, go ahead.
Thank you, Jamel, for taking time to talk to us. While you're
problem.
also being a dad.
I'm on daddy duty. I'm on daddy duty too.
So, obviously, you've had so many training camps and preparing for fights, but how different is it preparing to be a broadcaster and sort of taking a look at the fights that you've got to commentate on? How different is it from doing that compared to preparing for a fight?
It's definitely different because for the most part in camps, you know yourself. You know what I mean? Like you know, and you know what to expect going into the training camp. But when literally all week I've been looking at my notes and I've been studying the fighters themselves and their backgrounds and where they're coming from. So it's like a different aspect. It's, to me, but it's fun because you learn something. You get to learn something new with each fighter, and you get also. And I believe what commentators they may look at is they also get the chance to see fighters grow throughout their careers, which I believe is another fun aspect. But it's definitely different, but it's not so much because if you enjoy the sport and what it is, you easily can grasp to it.
Ring City has brought in a lot of different fighters as commentators. In Puerto Rico, we had Ivan Calderon, Sinisa Estrada, and Sean Porter has been a regular on Ring City USA. Have you spoken to any of them or to anyone who's a fighter, but also done some broadcasting for any advice or any tips on doing this?
Oh, I'm close with both Sinisa and Sean. I've been watching. Sean actually is one that really motivated me to really get into it myself, especially being an active fighter. And Sinisa, she did a great job, especially giving her opinion from a woman's aspect of and what to look at. Like, she's very knowledgeable of the sport, and I was actually really impressed how she carried herself throughout the whole broadcast. So, but yeah, I always speak with just not even just them, with just fighters in general, because they may see things that I may not see myself, or they may look at things differently than the way I do. So it was always great to pick each other's knowledge throughout the sport. And Sean picked it up really. It's like it comes natural with Sean, and that's what I like about having Sean on board and just listening to his opinion, because like I said, he's an active fighter, so he can relate to a lot that's going on in front of the TV.
Lastly, Ring City is going to be showcasing a few of the West Point cadets in amateur fights. As a you've been in the Marines, and now as a fighter, how much pride do you have sort of in seeing these younger fighters and these armed forces men and women get a chance to also showcase their stuff in front of an online global audience?
Well, for starters, as a Marine Corps sergeant, I'm gonna be hard on them, because I expect nothing but the best effort, at least from them. Because I know what it takes to even get to that level, not even just in Marine, but just in the military in general. Because we always felt that as we had to perform to our best, because we a lot of people that don't see it, but during the amateur circuit, we had a target on our backs, because some felt like we were just privileged, I guess, and we had a free ride, they would say, to those national tournaments. But in order for you to get to that level on any of the armed forces branch of teams, you had to be the best of your branch. So I'm definitely gonna. I don't expect anything less from what I want to. What I will see on Thursday, and I'm just happy for them, and I just hope they take it as far as they possibly want to take it.
Thanks, Jamel. Looking forward to hearing you on the mic on Thursday.
No
Thanks
problem,
very much, Carlos.
Thank
Our next question comes from Gail Falkenthal. Gail, go ahead, and thank you very much for the support on your background.
Thank you very much. Hey, I got to keep the Zoom game up for Sergeant Herring. You had another first today, the on-camera manicure during a boxing press
Yes.
which is duly being
and
noted
that
on
was
Twitter, right?
mandatory.
Right now, everybody's calling you for it. But in all seriousness, um, the military has a very rich tradition of boxing history, and we have had multiple veterans become champions. And I'm here in San Diego, as you know, and you need to get to Miramar. It's a mile away from me. Come on. They're
Yes.
ready for you. We've claimed several of them here, but it doesn't seem like a lot of the talent transitions into the professional ranks like you did. So what does that take to get more of the talent that's there being developed internally in the military boxing programs into the pro ranks?
It's crazy, Gail. You just really like struck me because it's hard. It is hard for us in the military to get to the highest level in boxing. Like, I mean, right now, my good friend and brother, Stephen Nelson, is pretty much, right there on my trail, and he's representing the Army, traditions as well. And I said you struck a nerve. Well, you struck me with something there because I remember I met Ken Norton before he passed during my time as an active duty Marine back in 2006. Last time I seen Ken Norton. 2006. And then I also was very close with Leon Spinks, which just recently passed away. And I look back just at those two individuals, and I said to myself, like, man, like I'm really like one of the only remaining, Marines that carry the title to represent on a world championship level. And it means a lot to me. But I also would love to see more, follow my path and that is the Marine Corps traditional path, because I mean, even now, just thinking about it, it's kind of like choking me up because I look up to those two individuals. I mean, those two individuals alone, they have wins over the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, that people sometimes forget, and they were Marines. So that's why I always pride myself into going out there and, achieving beyond what people may think I can do. And that's why, as you know, Gail, I took the fight with Carl Frampton very seriously, and I worked really hard for that fight because I just felt that like a lot of, just not even Marines, but just veterans in general and active duty service men and women were just looking up to me. And that's why, I always carry myself as a Marine to this day. That's what I carry on the name Semper Fi, which means, Semper Fidelis is always faithful. I mean, that's what we say in the Marine Corps. But I think in order for the military as a whole to get to the level where I'm at, we have to continue supporting the the amateur circuit, like we're gonna do this Thursday with with our young men and women who are lacing up, because that's where it starts from. That's where that tradition and honor starts from. But we have to have those strong programs in all of the services around the United States. So we definitely needed to continue now supporting amateur boxing, which I do to this day. I support USA Boxing to the fullest, but we also have to get behind the programs that supports our men and women who want to choose to lace up and get to the Olympics and also want to become world champions afterwards.
Well, that's also true, as a lot of us know, live in military communities, that transition from the military to civilian life can be really difficult, including getting employed. We can get some people employed in boxing from the military, perhaps. Shifting to your job coming up Thursday night, what are you looking for from these cadets? What would viewers expect to see from these men and women who are getting in the ring? And that's I believe on the streaming preview on Twitch, right?
Right. I mean, we can't win them all. Even in my own career, I have a couple of setbacks, but that's not a problem to me, at least, because it's all about how you bounce back and how you recover and move forward. So what I'm looking forward to is, just how they carry themselves, not only in the ring, but outside the ring, after whatever result comes up in their heart. Because it takes a lot of heart and character just to step through those ropes. It's not easy. I mean, even now, I'm still learning as I go along in my careers, and it doesn't get any easier along the journey. But if you have a lot of love for the sport and true character and belief in yourself, I mean, no one can ask for any more from you. And from them, West Point, it's not only just cadets there. These are men and women who are also training to become officers. And and officers in our military ranks are looked upon as leaders. So and the character will show how good of a leader they can be, not only in the ring, but throughout their military career as well. Because we all know that they're all not going to be expected to become world champions or maybe national champions in the amateurs, but we are looking forward to them to show character in terms of their leadership capabilities and their roles in that department. So I'm definitely going to be looking at that, because these are the men and women that are going to be leading our military, service men and women in the future down the road.
Well, just remember, they're Army, not Marines, so don't be too tough on them.
Hey, I mean, like, I can't expect anything less. Like I said, when I was in Iraq, I had to work alongside the Army as well. And when in the heat of the moment, you don't really look at the uniform. You really look at it just all Americans, and you rely on them to get through the mission. So as a Marine, I'm still going to expect nothing but the best. But at the same time, I'm going to love them all, because, like I said, they're here to defend our great country.
Well, we should all be proud of them and thank them for their service and yours. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you so much, Gail. Our next question comes from R.L. Woodson. Go ahead, R.L. R.L., can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that.
No
What's
problem.
good, Jamel?
What's going on, R.L.?
You got it. Hey, man, I'm just wondering, congrats on the win and everything and that whole situation, from a couple of weeks ago. Getting up to date, I'm just wondering, does your background with USA Boxing, some of the different relationships with the women that you mentioned, the female fighters, does that give you a different appreciation looking at the main event with Marjanovic and Hernandez?
Definitely. I've always been a big support of women in the sport of boxing. They're fighters. That's how I look at them, for starters. They're fighters, because I see it around my camps. I mean, most probably seen during my build-up to the Carl Frampton fight, Michaela Mayer was in the gym with me every day for the most part. And, she works just as hard as the men. So I'm definitely a huge supporter of women's boxing. And I'm excited to see, women getting that, in my opinion, the proper respect that I felt that they deserve. Because we know it takes a process for them to where they're at now. We know that like women's boxing come a long way from, let's say, the Layla Ali days, where Layla Ali, who I love and respect. She was at one point competing against women you probably didn't see until till they got in the ring, and that's the first and last time you heard of them. But now where amateur boxing is growing and more girls and women are getting involved in the sport of amateur boxing, you're starting to see that great amateur pedigree come behind them afterwards. And that also helps build, the class of women that we're seeing in these divisions. I mean, it's still a work of art, but for the most part, like when you look at even in the European circuit, that there's a lot of top quality fighters coming out of Europe as well as you see the ones building in America. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to see that happening, and I just hope that it continues growing to where women can finally get their proper just due.
Good deal. I don't know where you were with being involved with this and where you were with your preparation, what you were focusing on, but with the heavyweight fight falling out, can you just speak to that in terms of just the disappointment in covering that, and just what the fans were in store for between Shaw and Franklin?
I'm not.
And then you're here in the Midwest too.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm disappointed because Stefan, I know him personally, and his head trainer I competed against many a times, which is Coach Bashir. And Coach Bashir was an all-Army coach for years. I mean, he watched me come up from the time I was a teenager to where I'm at now. And I was actually looking forward to catching up with Coach Bashir and just see how well he's been doing in terms of the pro rankings, because he was a hell of a amateur coach. He's had many national champions as an all-Army trainer. and he always had a strong, solid team that always gave us issues. I mean, I always pick on him because I always say I've never lost to a soldier, and I never have. But I can't say for the rest of my teammates at the time because, like I said, the Army team has always had a strong team, and Stephon, who I know, he actually was he was basically an alternate on the 2012 team. People don't know that he helped a lot of us prepare to get ready for the Olympics. So I know Stephon from way back. I mean, when he was younger, he was younger than, of course, still young now, but you can just imagine how old he was when he first came around, 2012, 2011, to help prepare the Olympic team. So it's a bummer that fight fell through, but I just wish them well. But like I said, in replacement, we got an opportunity for women to again showcase what they can do and their skill and their ability. I mean, Amanda Serrano, she just did a hell of a job recently with on the same platform. So it's not too much of a disappointment, but like I said, I would have loved to see those individuals in the ring that night.
Gotcha. Last question, just what's it mean for you? We heard so much about your reputation during the Frampton fight and fight night and the lead up to that. But for you to get this call, what's that just say for you about how you conducted yourself and the reputation that you're building in the sport as you get to this stage of your career?
I mean, I think it says a lot about my character and who I am as a person because I didn't have to play, the bad guy role to get where I'm at. I didn't have to draw. I didn't have to draw the wrong attention overall. I'm just me, and this is who I am every day. And I'm really excited because I always wanted to be put in a position where I could just, share my experience and give my opinion and just show how much I love the sport as a whole. And hopefully, this won't be the last time that I'm around doing this. But like I said, it's an honor, and I'm actually excited. I'm excited just as much as fighting because I always say it's always great to be on the outside now, be enjoying a fight instead of you being the one in the ring watching out for blows and things of that nature. But like I said, I'm just fun. I'm just happy, and I plan on having fun with it as we go along.
Yeah, shouldn't get no cut from the headset or nothing. So enjoy it, man.
Exactly. I mean, the eye is just healing up, so we're good there. But like I said, it's good to see others, how they maybe put in the same similar situations that I have been put in, and just see how they conduct themselves and how they work under pressure as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you, Arnold.
Thanks, RL. Appreciate it. Again, for the media, if you have a question to ask Jamel, please use the raise hand function on your computer, and I will come to you. Next question comes from Abe Gonzalez. Abe, go ahead.
Hey, Chap, you hear me?
I hear you, brother.
Hey, what's going on? I'm coming to you live and direct from Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Your second home.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, man. Just wanted to ask you about so the card is being streamed on AFN. I don't know if most know the significance of that for us in the military, especially in the Marine Corps when you're deployed and stuff. That comes in handy during those times where there ain't nothing going on. Can you kind of elaborate on how important that is and maybe an example of how that played an effect when you were deployed or somewhere else during your time?
I mean, yeah, just like what I was saying to Gail, when I was over in Iraq in 2007, I got to witness one of the biggest fights of that time and era, which was De La Hoya Mayweather, thanks to AFN. So it's definitely, I mean, they definitely play a huge role. They also aired all of my Armed Forces Championship bouts as well. They even aired some of my own fights as well, from what I know. So that and because of them, you get to not only just other fighters in general, but our servicemen and women get to see individuals like myself represent them on a bigger stage. And when I'm how I am, when I'm usually done after my fights, I hop on social media and I just see all the love that I've gotten, mainly from our veterans, our active duty men and women, And so, and it means a lot that, just for them to know that there's somebody out there that represents them. Even though I'm not active duty, you know the motto, once a Marine, always a Marine, and I still carry myself as such. So when they see that, it gives them, a sense of pride, because just like I said, you being deployed and me and myself being deployed, we have our hard days, but maybe when the day is over and you get to, you get a chance to get in front of a TV and you get to see, what the network has been doing and showcasing, people such as myself. It gives people that boost of morale, and whatever they was going through in early in the day, they made for that, at least for that moment, they can forget it, have a good time, realize what they're fighting for, because at times, sometimes you question yourself if you made the right decision in what you're doing on the job.
Yeah.
But once you see like people like myself just still carry on our Marine Corps traditions and conducting themselves as such, people look at them and be like, you know what? This is why I'm proud and honored to wear the uniform. This is why I do this. And I'm glad we have people out there who still acknowledge us. Like, I wasn't that Marine that I got out active duty services and I forgot where I came from. No, to this day, I still represent myself as if I'm on the job 24/7, because you're a Marine 24/7, as we know. So, with that being said, it's great what they're doing. And I'm still, it was funny, like I said, I went from being the Marine watching the fight, and now I'm the Marine still on that network, representing and fighting myself. So that says a lot, and I'm just very proud and honored to be a part of it.
Now, my next question is: will the Jamel Herring Show T-shirt make its TV premiere? That's the real question.
No, you know what? I thought about it, but I got a job. I got a job to
Okay.
do. So if they would allow me to, I would have cut this off and I'd have put my blues on. My dress. Cause I can still put my blues. Thank God for me staying fit throughout the years, so I can still put my dress blues. But no, I thought about it, but no, it won't make an appearance. If anything, it may make an appearance maybe during the for the weigh-in or whatever. But for the actual broadcast, I gotta keep it professional, and but everyone will know that the Jamel Herring Show is still up and running.
Okay, and then lastly, I know the Valdez fight is what you're looking at next, especially for that prestigious Ring magazine. But there's another prestigious Ring magazine, 5 Pounds North. That's out there with the same promotional company. Is that in the back of your mind, like an option maybe down the road?
I mean, I look at all roads and options, to be honest with you. Like, that's just how I am. I don't count anything out. I don't even count. And people, ABC, I've been criticized for the craziest mess, but I don't even count out the Shakur Stevenson fight as well. It's just all about what's available and what is, in my opinion, what makes the more sense. Not in terms of even on the business side, just makes in terms of my own legacy. And of course, like I want to win another world title. I want to win more world titles. So if those opportunities come first, if it's either at super featherweight or lightweight, that's what I'm gonna go for. But for right now, me, man, I'm just having fun. I'm enjoying the time away. Well, not actually away, but just time off from my self training. But I'm always thinking about what's next. I'm like I said, I'm happy you even mentioned that, because for me, I'm already over the Frampton fight. I mean, I'm glad I've gotten the respect that I was looking for, and it was an honor to share the ring with a 3-time 2-divisional world champion such as himself. But for me, I want the next big thing, and obviously in the realm that I'm in, especially being with Top Rank, of course, the Valdez fight would be the smart option. But if I can't, I always have opportunities up north, and there's still other opportunities at super featherweight. But for me, Gay, I just want to like I was explaining to Gail earlier, I just want to continue conducting myself as a Marine and bringing more prestigious titles to the Marine Corps name, and for people to say that was probably that was one of the best Marines to represent us on the pro level. So that's my thing, and I feel like with a fight with Oscar Valdez and a big win over him, that will at least put me in the conversation of maybe becoming a fighter of the year, especially if I have another stellar performance that I just had a few weeks ago.
Thank you, champ. I appreciate it, and best of luck on Thursday.
Thank you, Abe. Appreciate you, brother. 7-5.
Thank you, Abe. Be safe. Our next question comes from Box Rec Gray. Go ahead, Gray.
Hey, Jamel, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Gray?
Hey, good to talk to you as always. So I did a little research, and this is the first boxing card taking place at West Point, first pro card since 1931. And I know there's been a few boxing cards that have taken place at Camp Pendleton, Camp Lejeune. Those were about, I think, 11 years ago. I wanted to ask you, would you like to see more cards taking place at military bases? And do you think that it would encourage more fighters who are in the military who also do amateur boxing? Would it encourage them to also go pro like you did? Because I feel like you're kind of a little bit of the exception. I see a lot of guys in the military and girls that never go pro. So I wondered if this might be a way to kind of encourage people to consider that career.
Of course. It's crazy because during my time as an active duty fighter, I didn't know, like, at that point in time, I think it was like 1992 on the Olympic team alone, with Oscar De La Hoya. Sergio Reyes was the only Marine and the last Marine until I came along to represent 20 years later, which was 2012. And going into the 2012 Olympics, I was actually the only, not only a Marine Corps boxer, but I was actually the only Marine in London on Team USA as a whole. And, it's great to carry on that tradition, especially being with a military background. But I'm the type of person that I want to see more of that. And I hope that with this card, and our servicemen and women watching alongside, it'll motivate others to, kind of follow the same footsteps as I have done for the military as a whole. So yeah, it's a good start. It's a good start, but I would love to see more down the road.
Cool. Thank you, Jamel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jamel, we very much thank you for your time. And I think I speak for all the media here and the people in the boxing industry. We look forward to seeing what's next for you. Your story continues to inspire us all. And we thank you very much for your time and have a great family day.
You too, Bernie. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. Like I said, see you all Thursday night. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.